Everybody, it's Saturday morning. You're tuned in. Yes, we have moved locations a little bit, so we got a new location to be doing some stuff. Hopefully, you like the new location and the new background. Yeah, we put together a nice little area there. So, a couple of one of my good friends. I came over and you know what? He helped me put this together. So right on. He's a really awesome fella. Actually, he's a fellow brother from the island, if you can believe that. So we actually got a nice little area working up here. So hopefully the audio is decent. We got a microphone set up here now on the table, and a nice little surface here that we got more room, more space, so we can show you more stuff. We got a cool little pump action rifle here. We got our coffee, a movie to talk about, and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and read your comments. Again, no particular order. Remember this too, like I'm reading the comments strictly just by going to the video itself and scrolling down. It has shown that many of the comments sometimes disappear or get pulled for some odd reason. I don't know why. So or any kind of weird situation. So if I didn't read your comment, or you just kind of commented after the fact that we did production on this, so there's a couple factors in there for you. So all right, here we go. First up, Slimfire. Morning, JW, and belated birthday. Thank you very much. And I hope you have many more. Thanks for the reading of our comments too. And if I could rate this collector's radio on a scale of 1 through 10, it would be a 10. Wow, thank you. Wow, that's awesome. Awesome philosophy on life, and thanks for the video, Slim. I appreciate that. And I do, and I mean, and this is your folks' show. I'm just your host, really, but this is your radio show. This belongs to you. So your comments is what make the show up. So a lot of times your comments have basically input and what our next episode could be about. So definitely chime in, make sure you comment and everything. All right, and ask questions that you may want that we could possibly answer for you here on the show. All right, John Crane says, enjoy the episode. The new Pythons are nice. I have an old 4-inch blued model built in 76. That's cool, the 4-inch. Every time I think of the 4-inch blued, think of Magnum Force. It's funny is because I've had so many Pythons over the years, and I've always seemed to let them go. But it's cool now. Like I said, like I spoke on the last show, and I really like what has happened with the Python. I really do. I love the fact that Colt has reintroduced them, and you know what? And I will say this: some companies, not to mention any names, should take note on how that was done, because Colt went back and redid the Python to the T. They made changes, but the changes were for the better by thickening the top strap, and I think they minus some parts on the internal workings, which is a good idea that they did. But some companies need to take note of that. They didn't add anything goofy or strange, and they didn't add anything to the Python that could make it like strange, or adding a giant lock system on the side of it or something. Anyway, but they did it right, and they got the action done right. They've introduced it obviously in stainless steel and a matte stainless, but the stainless one that they did introduce is the one that intrigues me, because it's a high polished stainless that is really nice. It looks really nicely done and nicely finished. The only thing I could say is right on by the in front of the trigger guard, where the frame and the crane meet, they did enter that little scan code, which is could be worse, could be a whole lot worse. We're just nitpicking at that point. I wish, if we were going to nitpick a little bit, I wish the hammer was a little bit wider, like the old school one, and it had a certain profile to it. But other than that, really, that Python that they got out now is amazing, and it's only a matter of time before they start doing it in royal blue, and I am definitely waiting for that, and that's one thing too, keep in mind, there is a lot, and I'm not going to detract, that they did have the hiccups in the beginning when they introduced those, but they've ironed those out. Those are no longer issues, and I really do. I mean, I'm, not to kind of repeat last week's episode, but I really do feel that a lot of the hate comes from, the throwing rocks at that thing, comes from really the fact that there are people out there that had those and they no longer can get their house payment out of it, a down payment on a house from their Python anymore. If you actually go to Gunbroker or any of those auction sites now, you can actually see. It's kind of interesting now that they got the 2.5-inch barrel out, what was known as, I guess, the Snake Eyes gun or something, but you can actually look now that Colt has got that out. There's a whole plethora of those out there, all the old vintage ones, and people are trying to get rid of them for $3,000 and whatnot. And it's kind of neat because for us that are the working stiff, the 9-to-5ers like myself, and I'm not saying these numbers are cheap by any means, but the fact that you can go out there and pick up now a Python for like $2,000. And versus prior to this, that was not even heard of, let alone the 2.5-inch model that would have ran you, who knows. I mean, my pockets were certainly not deep enough for that, but now that those are out, and now that Colt has reintroduced those, so you can actually pick these things up for what I guess you could say. I don't want to say, I'm not trying to say it's cheaper, but it's not as expensive, not as ridiculous as it was. So, all right, enough of that, right? All right, Beretta 9mm USA, fantastic channel, by the way. Love it, my go-to for 1911 content. Fantastic video. Love the part of talking about instructions written on the gun. Yes, I mean, I don't know. To me, that's a dead giveaway of. I can't. I think I have one that has it that I can think of, and that's a Ruger Mark II. And I don't know. I haven't pulled the thing out for a long time, but if I recall right, I think it does say read instruction manual or something like that on it. Hideous roll stamp. But yeah, that's kind of a deal breaker for me. I usually won't buy one with that on there. Regarding a previous episode, the new Springfield Armory operator is amazing. Just ignore the rail unless you plan to use it for home defense. We love light bearing 1911s. It's good to have capabilities of a torch if you need to light something up. Young Beretta, my fellow left-handed shooter. Yes, I totally agree. Yeah, it's nice to have that rail option. For me, I'm just like, I guess I'm just too hell-bent on aesthetics and the way things look, and I just, that rail thing it's like, it's almost a deal breaker for me, but not like, but I gotta have the standard look. But I have taken note of, I've definitely, I definitely looked at those operator models good and hard. As much as I would like to have one of the professional models, they're expensive, but you never know. Harrison Mantooth, good morning and happy birthday belated to you. Thank you, appreciate that. Enjoyed this morning's Radio Collectors show. I learned something. I learned something every time I tune in. Well, we do appreciate that. That's what we're here for. We try to share knowledge or experience or something that may be out there that I don't know, you don't know, but somebody knows, and we share it here, and then hopefully it helps us in the long run by when we go out there, not to get taken for a ride or something like that, or just plain knowledge on some stuff. All right, I have several M1 Garands, or Garand, if you want to pronounce it correctly, that have the greenish looking parkerizing. When I frequented some of the Garand forms, the consensus that was over the years, oils, grease, cosmoline was the culprit that caused the finish to turn to a green look. I have heard that myself. I am certainly not going to claim to be a metallurgist, neither am I. I'm not a professional by any means. I'm not a gunsmith or anything like that. And that's another thing, is misconception. A gunsmith can actually build a gun from a block of metal. I'm an adventurous fool with a screwdriver. Perhaps others out there can offer another opinion. The rain woke me up this morning, fixed a cup of coffee, stay tuned with you to the end. Thanks for sharing another great video, Stan. You're welcome, Stan. We appreciate you tuning in. Sorry the rain woke you up. It's been nice out here lately. The cold weather has been waking me up, and it's a really awesome way to wake up. By the way, I hope everybody's Thanksgiving has gone well. Obviously, it's kind of strange because we're talking about that in a it's not Thanksgiving yet during the taping of this, but yet I hope your Thanksgiving was great, and I hope everybody was safe for the insane Black Friday. I never understood Black Fridays. I'm so against those because I think it's just monetary and greed. I just don't understand it. I wish that there was a way. I mean, I understand people want deals, but I wish there was a safer, better way people can do that without getting mauled at some kind of Walmart or something for a waffle maker. Hence, speaking of that, I went to go see that new movie called Thanksgiving, which is directed by Eli Roth, which is an amazing director of old school horror and whatnot. You may have heard of the movie Cabin Fever. He directed and wrote that movie. But anyway, if you like splatter type films, check out Thanksgiving. Not a bad one. I wasn't a fan of the slasher character guy. I don't think he's going to become anything special. It certainly is not on any level of Jason or Leatherface or Freddy. But he's just typical slasher. I wish they spent a little bit more time on his character in making it better than what it was in the film. So that I will say, critique on that one. Eli Roth should have done better. He could have done better. Of course, he plays my favorite character of all time in Inglourious Bastards, directed by Quentin Tarantino. He is, I believe his character is Donnie Donowitz, which he beats the German soldiers, the Nazis, to death with a club. Louisville Slugger, to be exact. No other way. All right. Sean, happy belated birthday. That Python is sweet. May have to add it to the list, although I still haven't gotten a 29-2 yet because of how spendy they are getting. Great show. Thanks for sharing. I do appreciate that. Appreciate everybody tuning in and everything. Actually, I did read your comment earlier this week, and I did see that. I did remember looking up the Model 29-2s, and you're right. For whatever reason, those have skyrocketed so much. It's insane how much that costs now. I can't imagine. It's crazy. Even locally around here, I noticed that even within the last 5 years or something like that, picking through them all, they have definitely jacked up a little bit out here, even in my neck of the woods. All right, Crazy Scotsman. Never been a fan of ported barrels or slides. Presents a lot of different issues as far as carry firearms is concerned. If you have a trigger gauge, as far as carry firearms is concerned, period. If you have a trigger gauge, be interested to see what that Python is pulling in both double action and single action. Nice walkthrough on what to look for on the RAM. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Maybe at some point here I might do a little horse trading. I don't know. I might pick up another old vintage Python just to have, for the sake of the the cool factor of it. But that would be kind of interesting to kind of compare the two, and that's kind of why I want to see it too. I want to compare it, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe one will slither its way into one of the local shops where my friend runs, and we'll see if what he can come up with. You got a response to that, Crazy Scotsman, right? Moses Browning didn't make ported barrels for a reason. I'm not a fan of ported barrels. I really am not. I don't like them. I hand load most of everything I shoot anyway, and usually fairly moderate charges. So, hey Joe, my man Joe, swig of coffee for Joe. Not a fan of matte stainless either, but I still bought one years ago and I still own it, a 627 with its stainless frame, 8-shot capacity. It's a perfect boat gun. You know who else carried one of those on a boat? Bloodwork with Clint Eastwood, and I know you know what I'm talking about, Joe. It only came in matte finish, but any kind of stainless is preferred when you're sitting in salt water. Yeah, I bet. All right, KSFWG. I never liked to cut out slides or ported barrels either. I've always thought it was just another way for dirt, crud, technical term. Yes, absolutely. Muck, crud, gunk. I love that. It's to find its way into the firearm when it's not in use, like sitting on the bench when you're not firing another firearm. Good point. There is a lot of debris and junk and dust and stuff like that that disperses everywhere. I know this. I used to work on an indoor range, and boy, you wipe those booths down with a cloth. It's amazing. CZ 9mm USA. I stayed for the whole video. I really enjoyed the two 1911 pistols and the new Python. Excellent show. That's from Beretta Senior over there. We appreciate that. It's another one from the comment there. Up early on a Saturday morning and watching you. Great start to my day. God bless. And that's from Beretta Senior as well. Thank you very much. Do appreciate that. Thank you guys for all the hard work you do on the really outstanding close-ups and high-definition reviews on the 1911s. You guys do an excellent job over there. All right, Warren. Hi, Bat Jack. I think Model D stands for detective on the Python. Have a great weekend. That's a good, interesting thing. Yeah, I never thought about that. Maybe it does, yeah, because it's like the detective model, you know, it's a little snub. So I can't help myself. I just, you know, I see a little snubby revolver and those old school things, you know, it comes to mind when you start thinking about like Bullet and Steve McQueen and stuff like that. All right. Tin Man, great show today. We appreciate that. Squib 1911, the world famous Kona guns. I'd like to go there someday. I think 12th Hawaii Distiller is near there too. I know that it's called the Kona Brewing Company, if that's what you're talking about. I was actually worked walking distance from there. Their pizza is really good, and at least this was, I mean, it's been a long time, but their pizza is really good, and they also have a strawberry dressing salad. It's like phenomenal. All right. Harrison Mantooth also replied here to that. Says, Squib 1911, my parents went back there in the 60s. My father won a trip from his employer. They enjoyed Kona more than any other island. That's right, because us in the Big Island, Kona, we're the best. My father brought back a couple pounds of Kona coffee. It was great coffee. It is. Yeah, and my family sometimes get me some every now and then. So, all right, Tony, happy belated birthday, buddy. Thank you very much. Bohemian Hunting Club, good morning. Another great channel out there. Check out Bohemian Hunting Club. Great stuff. Jeffrey Richardson, Hot Coffee. Good morning, all. Happy birthday to today is my birthday. Happy birthday, Jeffrey, or belated birthday. Very cool, very cool, and I appreciate you guys spending your birthday with me here on the Collectors Radio. That's awesome. Yes, to about the chase, if you're interested. 45 minutes is not too long. Do appreciate that. Squib Lift, 44 minutes, well spent. Good old 44. All right, Tom Riddle. Good morning, everyone. And Lion Quest Fitness says there is no rhyme or reason as to why some comments appear and some don't. Occasionally, I'll have comments show up months after they were posted. I have too. That's a really thank you for tuning in on that. I have had that where I've gone through, sometimes if I very rarely go through any of the details behind the scenes, the analytics and stuff for those of us that do the creating. I don't like, I mean, it's weird. Like there's stuff that's like been pulled. I'm like, why was that pulled? I missed that comment and a long time ago, or whatnot. And I do apologize, I don't get back to everybody's comments throughout the other videos and whatnot. I really rarely do. I don't spend a whole lot of time in it. So I mean, the Collectors Radio show right here on Saturday mornings is what I really focus on now. This is going to pretty much be the staple of the channel as of right now. So I read your comments here. All right, and user something matching guns. Okay, all right. So I do appreciate everybody that does tune in here and comment and everything. I do appreciate that. This is kind of it, and also hopefully you did catch we did release the video of the Wilson Combat 1911, the custom one, the Commander variant. We did that did actually become available here for you guys on the feed to see. We did film that. That was done early this year during the summer. We wrapped up on that one. We just didn't put it out mainly because we had 2 videos of it, and I just felt back to back they were just not really, it just really didn't. To me, create that much interest anyway, so we just kind of held back the other one, and we were actually for a while there unsure if that was even going to become public on the channel, as there has been videos that we have done that we didn't make public on the channel that we in the end decided against just putting it up. Really, a lot of stuff. We still have stuff in the bank, in the catalog, for instance, that have not been available for you. We do have a table look at the Glock 17 Retro, the gun that they have out, which I think is really cool. We have not done anything with that. That's actually done a wrap on. We do have some loose footage of a really interesting Colt Series 70 nickel plated that we once had in our possession here. We no longer have, but we did do a short video with it. I'm not sure. I haven't actually reviewed the footage for a while now. I don't know what it really looks like or anything like that. But and I mean, we've gotten away from doing those videos. This is kind of what we're doing, and I know it's different, and maybe some people are going to like it, some people are going to hate it, some people are going to just say, oh well, that channel's dead and no longer whatever, and that's fine. But doing the Collectors Radio Show for you folks, that's it. I mean, that's what that's what it's about. I have more enjoyment doing this anyway in this format. It's much more fun to me. It's much more relaxing. It's much more just easygoing. It's not like you're trying to cram all this stuff into one little 5-minute video and you're trying to think, what did I not cover or whatever, and it's just no longer what I want to do, really. I just I feel like a waste of time trying to do that, and I felt they were never that good anyway. So but I enjoy doing the Saturday hangout with you folks, and everybody is subscribed, all the friends that are here and everything like that. And as Crazy Scotsman said, we do this, and we've met a lot of really good people. We really have. Very fortunate enough to have a lot of you following here and doing all this kind of listening to this, 20 minutes of your life into it now, and you're still here hanging out with me on your Saturday morning. So thank you. All right. We brought out this rifle here for you because we don't normally get to bring out rifles. And it's really cool because it's a pump action old gallery gun, and it I think for a while there I was thinking it was nickel plated, and I don't know if it is. I think it might be stainless, a nicely polished stainless, or then again it could be nickel. I could totally be wrong. I don't know, but it's really neat. My friend unfortunately he's no longer with us. He was the one that always told me about these pump, gallery guns and how fun they are. And every time, he's had one and got rid of one, that he regretted it. So I hung on to mine. I've had a number of them over time, and I've gotten rid of a number of them over time. But I've hung on to this one so far. And they're fairly available. Main thing is when you get them, make sure they haven't been worn out, shot to hell. But it's cool because this thing will do shorts, longs, long rifle. So really cool, really awesome little piece. Tube fed and everything. So I thought that was really neat to have something like that. On the table there. So I really have fun with that. I used to sit there on. You can load these things up with the little Calibres by Aquila, which Eagle. They don't have any powder in them, but they fire a 20 grain like projectile. That's it, and it just and it really, you almost just hear the click. When you fire it in a rifle like this, you almost just hear it click, and that's it. And it's really fun to sit there and take like an old phone book, but you can't find those anymore. But something like a thick book or something you're not using anymore, put that against and put some playing cards on there or something like that, and shoot it from across your room. It's a lot of fun to do something like that. But always kind of love to have these things. Always had them in the inventory, and so they're really cool. They're a lot of fun, little carnival action there, and they just are. You can get the inexpensive one. This one here is a Rossi, or I think it's a Rossi, and I'm happy with those because they work. They're an exact copy. They actually are remaking them. I'm not too fond of those because they took away the lines of the gun. These older ones are an exact copy of the Winchester 62s. I had a couple Winchester 62s. I just let them go. Honestly, it's just because, I don't know, they're just, for the money, I'd rather have one of these, because it's an exact copy. It really is great. Take it out, have fun with it. It's the same exact gun for a fraction of the cost. So that's always good. All right, we got a cool movie. I want to talk and show this movie to you because this just came out, re-released on by Vestron Video, and I'm a really big movie person. You guys know this. This got re-released. This is Nick Nolte in Extreme Prejudice. If you love 1911s and old school like Model 12s and stuff, boy, this is a movie to have. This is like a modern style Wild Bunch, and it's directed by Walter Hill. If you don't know who Walter Hill is, Walter Hill did some amazing movies way back. Another one that he did is really a hidden gem. It's called Trespass, and it's got Bill Paxton and William Sadler in it, and Ice-T, Ice Cube, the hip hop guys and everything from it's a total 90s movie. Awesome stuff. I remember seeing that on Showtime back in the day, 30 some years ago. But this is a cool movie. This is awesome. I mean, talk about and they say too, like he kind of did this in homage to Sam Peckinpah. So really cool stuff. Like I said, this thing is just full of shoot 'em up action. It's got Michael Ironside in it as well. Powers Booth is in it, and I tell you, there's a scene where he has his Commander 1911 and he goes dry on it, slide lock, and I tell you see him drop that magazine, slap another one in, drop the slide on it, and just go back to work. I tell you, there's some scenes in that if that doesn't make you want a Colt Commander 1911, I don't know what will. Because I tell you, I just said, oh man, that is awesome. And he modeled his entire character, Nick Nolte did, after Ranger Jackson, Joaquin Jackson, Texas Ranger there. So that's cool. I heard that he was actually on set as a technical advisor, got with Nick Nolte, and then next thing you know it, Nick Nolte shows up looking exactly like him and everything, and carrying the same kind of stuff. So really, really awesome movie. If you haven't checked that out, that's definitely worth checking out. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I'll let you guys go. I appreciate it. Hope you like the new location for the show and everything, and we'll see you next time.